Good morning, everyone. My name is Ramin Heydarpour. I'm the chairman of the board of Ynvisible and the interim CEO. I'm joined here by our global vice president of sales and marketing, Keith Morton, and our chief technology officer, Carlos Pinheiro. And I'm just going to have Carlos and Keith do a quick introduction. My background is product development and engineering. I've had 30 years experience in the business around printed electronics, RFID, and I'm privileged and honored to have the opportunity to lead Ynvisible for the next few months as an interim CEO and be the chairman of the board of the company. Keith? You want to do a quick introduction? You're on mute.
Sorry, rookie era. Good morning, everybody. So my name is Keith Morton. I've been in the display business for 25 years. I've spearheaded multi-million-dollar display programs as well as startups with a focus on introducing new technology and developing sales networks and distribution networks for display companies. I also hold 2 patents in displays, by the way, in my product development experience.
Thank you, Keith. Carlos.
Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Well, I'm one of the founders of Ynvisible and chief technology officer. I have a PhD in functional materials, more in particular emphasis in electrochromic and electrochemistry. And I've been working since ever with Ynvisible, so I have more than 15 years of experience in this field of printed electronics.
Thank you, Carlos. So what we have planned for you today is to give you an update on where we are today, where we're going in 2022 and beyond, and then open it up to answer any of your questions. We have had the last, we would like to give you an update on a regular basis. We know we have been a bit tardy, so we would like this to be an interactive session. I'm going to share with you a few slides by way of setting context, but more importantly, I would like to hear from you and then answer your questions, the 3 of us together. So I'm going to share a few slides, if you don't mind. Here we go. Share. Apologies. There we go. Can you see my screen? Display mode? Okay. So we are positioning our product as printed e-paper display. Printed e-paper display. You've heard, those of you who have been with us, have given us the privilege of investing in our company, have heard this. We give design freedom, we're thin and flexible, and we are cost effective. But really, our entry to market, our key value proposition is low power. We are targeting areas where the end user needs low power, in addition to having a thin and flexible display that's cost effective. Our key priorities in 2022, we are moving from being a rapid prototyping development company to being a product company. What do we mean with a product company? We need to optimize, validate the performance of our product and scale it up. We also need to invest in sales and marketing. What are our target markets? What are our target markets? Focusing on target markets where we can bring value in 2022, 2023, and 2024. Identify key customers. Historically, we have looked at customers to come to us with needs. 2022 and beyond, with Keith's help, we are targeting key customers and we are looking to close deals. We are looking to get a purchase order based on the products that we are developing. We are also going to be investing in our technical team and in our sales team. And we have pockets of excellence in Germany around R&D, rapid prototyping in Chernecka, Portugal, and manufacturing and some product development in Sweden. We would like to be one Ynvisible, one culture. We would like to strengthen our culture as being one Ynvisible. So there's been a lot of questions around the last round of funding that we got, financing that we got. And people are asking us, investors have asked us, what are you doing with that money? We're investing in product and technology to develop our products and scale it up. We are investing in sales and marketing, getting sales resources in North America, Europe, and Asia. And we are investing in our technical team and sales team. We're going to talk about that in more details around what are some of the key areas of investments that we've had. An example of that is the collaboration that we have with Research Institute of Sweden, RISE, who is a key development partner with us, where we can use some of their intellectual properties to bring better products, more robust products to the market. And Carlos is going to talk to you about that, our partnership collaboration contract with RISE, a premier research institute in printed electronics. Next slides, my objectives. What are my objectives for 2022 as the interim CEO for Ynvisible? Number one, build the business. Optimize, validate, and scale up the product. Number two, build a sustainable business in 2022. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in new product sales in 2022. Number two, strengthen the organization, sales and technical in particular. Where are the gaps in our technical expertise, product development, technical expertise? Fill that, and also build a sales network, global sales network led by Keith. And also promote teamwork. Now, my other objective, of course, is to increase sales stock value. Since I joined Ynvisible as in the board of directors, we're at the lowest price in the market. Getting back our stock price is one of our key initiatives, is one of my key objectives in 2022, which is going to be fueled by the products that we're going to bring to the market this year. So we are laser focused around closing deals and commercializing new products in 2022. And also, my last but not least objective is to find a successor as a CEO before end of the year. Let me take you through some of the target markets that we are looking at. These are by way of giving you some ideas about what are some of the areas we are looking at that we think we can bring value. First, one is signage. The digital signage are products that are out there. Some of them are expensive. Some of them are hard to implement. Our product is thinner, cheaper, and easier to integrate into indoor spaces for digital signage applications. We think we can take some market share from existing applications in the signage area. Another one is, so in this case, we are looking, as I said earlier, around investing in product development. We are looking to make our products bigger signage products, to develop it, validate the performance, and manufacture larger displays. Next one you have heard about in our previous investor calls is around smart labels, interactive smart labels for supply chain monitoring, cold chain supply chain inventory monitoring. The feature that we need to build on this product is low temperature performance and durability of the label. We are looking to optimize this product, validate its performance, and take it to customers. And there are a number of customers that we are working with around smart labels this year. Next one is we have seen a lot of requests or polls from the market around brand protection authentication. Physical digital interactions authenticating products. Our displays are low power. They can be powered by NFC in your cell phone. So for items that require authentication, like the high value products, we are looking at integrating our product into packaging type of applications. For this application, the technical development is around integration of our displays into packaging type of applications. Retail, variable information pricing is an existing market. You see the analog, the digital versions are out there. We think we have a strong positioning by being a lower cost, easier to implement display into variable information market retail spaces. These are areas where the four markets that I shared with you are markets where there are existing products that to some extent meet the unmet market need, but not completely. We think we have a better solution. We're working with customers to develop products in those applications. But not only that, we're working on a longer term medical type of applications where there is a need for indicators. Active wound care is one, where they want to know whether the wound is healed and when to remove the patch from the skin. There are other medical applications, longer term medical applications, where we are working with major global brands to develop the products. These are longer term developments. They require regulatory approvals. So they are in our pipeline, and we are very optimistic, large potential new markets, but they are not the ones that are going to be commercialized in 2022 or Q1 of 2023. But we would like to kind of share with you by way of providing a view of what is the full potential of Ynvisible being the face of Internet of Things. So those are some of the examples of the market areas that we're targeting. What probably you want to hear is what is our business targets for this year? We're targeting our businesses along three revenue streams. First and foremost, product sales. Establish a commercial footprint to the tune of a few $100,000 minimum in 2022. Minimum, a few $100,000 in 2022. Build a robust, high-value project portfolio. We get about $400,000 to $500,000, 5,000 euro worth of revenue from our project portfolio. This is where the customers come to us and pay us to develop products for them. We count the revenue as part of our total revenue a year. It's about $400,000, but really the value of our project portfolio is its full potential. It's what it can do for us short-term, mid-term, Horizon 1, 6 months, Horizon 2, 6 months to 18 months, and Horizon 3, 18 months plus. We're looking at multi-million-dollar portfolio as is today in our portfolio around a number of different projects that we are working with major brand owners globally. The third revenue stream for us is our contract manufacturing. Our manufacturing facility, roll-to-roll manufacturing facility in Linköping, Sweden. We do manufacturing for other, contract manufacturing for other printed electronics companies where we generate revenue. It's the same equipment on which we're going to scale up our products. We are scaling up our products. The advantage of this is that it not only generates cash for us, but it creates strategic options. Working with other printed electronics company, we are contemplating display plus battery, display plus sensors, display plus circuits that we can print in one go. So what we call our display plus is an electrochromic display that has other printed electronics features that's built into it. And by working with other printed electronic companies, small startup, innovative printed electronics companies in the Nordic ecosystem, we can generate perhaps capabilities to develop more higher value products. Our target for 2022, our sales for 2021 was 930,000 euro. Our target for 2022 is 1 million plus. We are not prepared to share with you exactly what that number is, but it's going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars, more than $1 million, based on the product sales that you see on the first line item. By the next investor conference, we can tell you perhaps a more precise number. So that's what I've prepared for today to share with you, to give you kind of a context for where we are, what we do. I'm gonna end there and then ask, hold on a second. Save. I'm gonna end it there and then ask Keith to give you a few words about his objectives around sales, which we talked about. You know, he's looking to get distribution globally, and then Carlos around what he's doing around product development. Keith? You're on mute again.
Okay, sorry about that. Right, so we have, what we're doing a little bit differently is we're having kind of a laser focus on our specific markets and doing targeted marketing in those areas with trade shows and direct to tier 1 customer interactions. And these are markets that have lower barrier of entry and therefore quicker time to market. So we're looking to get a quicker turn on our products. The other thing that Ramin mentioned is that we're also increasing our average selling price by selling the full solution in many cases, as opposed to just selling the display. Because we have a very low cost display, in order to make an impact with a customer, you need millions and millions of units to get to a significant amount of money. But for example, in one target market where we were selling a 20-cent display, we're now looking at selling the total solution, which takes our average selling price from 20 cents to $5. What this accomplishes is it increases the number of addressable customers for us, and customers that previously were not meaningful to us are now very meaningful because we're providing the whole solution. So those are two of the strategies that we're incorporating, and we're focusing on, and we know the value of the market. I can mention the #1 company in the e-paper market, and they're doing approximately $650 million a year in sales. And with the other providers out there, it's about $1 billion market of e-paper. We also feel with our lower cost solution than what's out there,
I mean,
we can even expand.
Don't wash.
But we have a lower cost solution. We expand that market even greater because we've heard from a lot of customers that the solutions out there, while they have a lot of features, are too expensive for their applications. So this is some of our key strategies in those markets. One other thing I'll mention also in addition, and Ramin did mention this, that we are setting up sales networks. So we're also using a traditional sales networks with manufacturers, reps, and distributors. Right before, we were doing all the sales ourselves direct to customer, which means we could only address a limited amount of customers. Now our reach to the market has increased greatly, at least tenfold access to customers. Thank you.
You want to talk about the sales people that we're getting in the US and Europe also, Keith?
Sure. We're hiring a European sales manager, someone seasoned in the industry that has a lot of display sales experience. And we're doing the same thing in the United States. And again, this is a little bit different than our approach. Ynvisible previously was more focused on our technology, which is great, printed electrochromic displays. But now we're taking a customer and market-based approach, which is a little bit different. So we're using people who have experience in displays as opposed to people who have experience in printed electronics, right? So printed electronics is how we do what we do, but displays is what we sell, right? We're selling an e-paper display. So we're using the traditional display market networks and display sales channels, and we're using veterans in those industries to develop those markets for us and those sales channels.
Thank you, Keith. Carlos, would you like to say a few words around our product development activities?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, for it to be brief, for this year, I have two major goals. One is to support Keith to support product sales. We need to validate technology. We are just right now torturing our displays to be sure that whatever Keith is delivering to customers will pass the criteria and will satisfy the customer. That's my target number one this year. For the second target is to work on the pipeline. We're working on the next generation that will lead to the expansion of our opportunities as a product. And there I'm counting with the support of our excellent team here in-house, where we have chemists and material scientists working on electrochromics on a daily basis, but also very important, our partners in Sweden, the RISE, where we have worked last year intensively together around printed electrochromics. RISE has 20 years of experience working in the field, specifically of printed electrochromics, but also printed electronics in general. This year, we are at the moment, almost at the moment to sign a major agreement with RISE that will make us intimate partners. And this will be the support to us to continue working on the new generations of electrochromic displays and derivative technologies. So that's focus on this year products, but also looking forward to expand the technology to other possibilities. That's my two goals for this year.
Thank you, Carlos. So RISE is the Research Institute of Sweden that we're working with. So that kind of gives you an overview of what are our objectives for 2022 and beyond, and our key areas of investments. So with that, I'll hand it back to you, Alicia, to see whether we are.
Yes, we have. Oh,
okay.
Perfect. Well, we have some questions here from the audience, and I also put some questions together from investors that and people that have sent it the last couple months to me.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just start off with is the share price a concern to management, and are they planning any promotional efforts to turn it around?
Question number one is yes, it is a concern to the management. Question number two, what do you mean by promotional? We are looking to commercial. As we close deals, we will definitely announce it. Does it answer your question?
I think so. And what do you say about the stock price? The price has been dropping since over a year now.
We are disappointed. We are disappointed. It's a concern for us. I have purchased stocks myself last week. We think it's undervalued. I think it's undervalued. Our target is to get the price to, we have a target price for ourselves that we need to get it back up. Yeah, it is a concern for us. And I think as we execute against the objectives that we have put together and announce it to the market, it will get to where we think it should be.
Okay. After the change of CEO and VP of Sales and Marketing, the management team was reorganized with Mr. Heydarpour and Mr. Morton. Is there talk of accelerating growth? We've talked about that. What is your exact strategy here to achieve the growth targets for the future? And what are the next milestones investors can see in the short run?
You want me to, I'll take the sales focus one. Mm-hmm. I think I don't want to go too deep because we did go into it quite a bit in what I shared, but I will say that it's really a targeted marketing approach, right? So we've done a little bit of a shotgun approach, which is what most new technology companies do. We tell the world, hey, we make this thing. We think it's really great. Come buy it. Now we've identified the market and we're making the decision. This product fits these markets ideally. And these are high value markets that value our value proposition. So we have our unique selling properties, right? For example, low power, thin and flexible. We know that's what it is. So we have identified the markets that highly value this criteria, these properties. And now we're letting those markets know, not just who comes to us, but now we're going out to them. We're going to trade shows. We're going to be doing shows like the SID show, which is where all new great display technology is exhibited. We recently exhibited at CES and had really great responses, and that helped us craft our market strategy. We've also looked at where the market leader is selling and having their greatest success. And if we even got a small fraction of what they're doing, it would be a huge increase to our sales. So we now know where to market, and we're gearing our products to be fit for those markets. So we're going to those markets and saying, hey, here's our solution for your market. You can use this to display prices or give information. When is the bus coming? Whatever it may be. But so retail is a huge market for us, a huge potential market, and digital signage, right? And there's some areas, so authenticity, we've all seen the holograms. Well, now people can make holograms. It's not so, authentic anymore. Nobody has a label that you put a NFC on and it changes. So for high value items like medical masks, for example, is a great deal of counterfeiting in the medical mask world. We can help mitigate those problems. So we have a real value to these markets, and that's what's key.
Right.
Thank you.
So to build on Keith's point, we are investing in sales. We are going to be selling our products. We are getting professional salespeople in North America and Europe, calling on key customers with products that we have developed for those markets. So we are investing in developing our products that runs on a manufacturing line. When we go to the customer, not with a prototype, but with a product data sheet and a product and a price. We have distribution in North America, sales distribution in North America. We have sales distribution in Asia. We are signing a contract for sales distribution in Germany. So we will have sales distribution in Asia, North America, and Germany. We will have dedicated sales resources that are trained in selling display products in North America and in Europe. And we will have products for our salespeople to sell to those markets, not prototypes, but products based on unmet needs. So that's our strategy. And as I mentioned in my slides, our target is to have a few $100,000 worth of sales of new products that we can sell year over year starting this year.
Perfect. And this one is, I think, for Keith. Understanding that there are a number of different color changing technologies being developed, what is your view on the color? Oh, maybe also Carlos, on the color changing card display by BMW at CES. Do you see those technologies as having commercial application, or are they just a gimmick? How do you see your focus involving beyond printed applications?
Carlos.
All right. I think, well, those gadgets we see in CES, they may take still some years to come. So we don't target to cover automotive with our technology. We believe there's enough potential in the standard display solutions, but focusing on areas where conventional displays have not been able to deliver solutions, and that's where I think we have to be focused. We are working on colors. It's not the main priority. As I said, we really need to turn what we have in a product, and that's where we will put 80% of our efforts. We will not stop working on the pipeline. We do have the best partners developing new electrochromic colors. And as I said, we are also now getting more equipped with the support from RISE, supporting us also on the R&D side for electrochromics. So us as a company, we want to be focused on productization of those technologies and getting support from the partners to innovate, and then we will take the lead to make them turn them into products.
Thank you, Carlos.
Mm-hmm. Another question is, currently Ynvisible is developing a formulation of red EC ink for industrial printing applications. This next step will scale up production and be obtained ink production. This will be expected to be accomplished by June 2022. What is the status of this?
Could you?
Yes. Can you
So I think
repeat?
that's to Carlos. Is the Red EC ink for industrial printing applications? You were developing a formulation. One of the attendees asked, and the next step would be the scale up in production and obtain ink products. And it was expected to be accomplished by June 2022. What is the status of this?
So this year we did a breakthrough in one of our publicly funded projects. It's a big consortium here in Europe, around 12 partners. And there we have created a new electrochromic color that shows a red coloration. And we have been able here to turn that material into an ink that can be processed in gravure, rotogravure printing. That means that we could scale it up to roll-to-roll printing, but this is still, I would say, in a low tier level. This is filling the pipeline. In regards to having a producible technology, that's what I say. We are focusing on our first generation that we also did just this year, or let's say end of last year, a major breakthrough. We improved the technology in the stack to operate at very low temperatures. We are talking about negative temperatures, and that of course opens the markets that Keith can be looking for. And at the same time, we also improve the number of operations that a single display can make, and we have tested over 1.5 million cycles. So these are the important innovations we are doing right now to support sales this year, and that's, as I said, this is our main focus
for 2022. So although to kind of build on that, although our innovation and growth around color displays, functional displays, sensors are critical to our future, long-term future, as we are emphasizing again, our focus is to commercialize products in 2022 and have our stock price reflect the full value of our corporation. Short term, this year.
Perfect. This is coming from one of the investors, Norbert. Again, my question is, please, is there a product ready to go to market and deliver? And who is in charge to sell it now?
Two-part question.
Mm-hmm.
First one, you answer. Second one, Keith. Go ahead.
Yes. So we do have a product. As I mentioned before, we need to test it and validate it. Now we are getting serious. We are getting the real questions from the customers, and we need to be sure that the technology passes. I'm talking, for example, exposing the technology to very low temperatures. How long will it survive? Can it operate at minus 20 degrees Celsius? Can it last 10 years in operation outdoors? All these questions need to be first validated before we can commit to the customers. And this is my goal, to reach that validation between Q1 and Q2, is to get that question answered so that Keith can clearly answer and target the right customers for the technology. So there is a product, we are validating it.
Keith, do we have customers?
Yes, we're talking to customers actively. We're getting NRE purchase orders, and that is why what is driving Carlos, as he's saying, this is what's driving Carlos's activities. The customers want to use the product. They're giving us their requirements. Now we're verifying that we can meet these requirements. So yes, we have new designs coming in. We have multi-$100,000 customers that are chasing us now, which is a good problem to have. But now we say, okay, we have to verify that we can deliver what they need. We don't really want to disappoint anybody, so we're doing the validation and verification that is needed for the markets. Yeah, they're
right. So there, just the qualifier on that, we may have to modify our product if it doesn't. So this is where I say productization is critical, because if we do not meet some of the requirements, we may have to modify the product. So do we have a product? It's a qualified yes. We need to test it to see how close we are. Is it 100% of what the customer needs? Do we have an order from a customer? Yes. Customers are willing to place an order. Do we have a product that meets that requirement? We think so. We need to test it. If it doesn't, we need to quickly develop it. So that's where all our conversation and head is, that if it doesn't, we need to have some real technical expertise on it to modify the product to meet the end use application.
So to go further, is the sales is at Ynvisible, the sales team, is it just starting to be created now? Was there a sales team previously to you, Keith?
So there was a sales team. It was not a dedicated sales team. I think that's really the difference. We had people that had dual roles, in some cases, maybe even triple roles, where they were responsible for sales, for product development, for the factory. Right now that we're growing, we're adding dedicated salespeople that if they don't sell, they're not successful. They're out of a job. Right. We have somebody who's maybe running the factory, doing projects as well. So now the people that are selling the product are not selling projects. We're not selling R&D projects. We're not, that doesn't matter to us. Our only goal is to sell run rate, repeat business, to build a base of business, to have a healthy, thriving company.
So Ynvisible was in R&D previously, and now we're moving into sales.
We have a dedicated sales network, and then we're building a sales channel. That's more importantly, we're building a very large sales channel with access to thousands and thousands of customers, not just who knocks on our door because they might have found us looking for some, specific search. And we've done a good job marketing in the printed world. Now we're pushing into actual markets that are already using products. In some cases, we're looking to create markets, but in most cases, we're looking to address large existing markets.
So to another way to kind of answer that question, we brought in Keith, who has, just purely display sales experience. The last 30 years, he's been in the sales business selling displays, no other job but selling displays. And he has a network of distributors that they sell displays, from liquid crystal to organic light emitting diodes. So we are hiring subject matter expert salespeople who are going to be dedicated to selling low power, thin and flexible displays to target customers. So by way of bringing sales are people who have global salespeople who have global network of customers and relationship with those customers that they can sell to. So our sales team was good. But as Keith was saying, it was more a way of marketing, selling projects, and working with customers to develop relationships. We are taking this to the next level, where we are hiring professional subject matter expert salespeople with network of customers that they can call on. And that's where we are making our investment on, bringing the salespeople in. So.
Perfect. Do you see the main barrier to sales over the next 2 years being technology maturity or identification of desired products?
Let me answer that. I don't think it's technology maturity. I think it's finding the application. I think we have a very, to my mind, robust base technology platform. We need to modify it and optimize it. We need to modify it and optimize it, not for all application. Color, for example, would be a longer term development. But with the base platform that we have, we think we are the premier #1 company in electrochromic displays. And in the area where electrochromic displays is needed, we meet 80% plus of the requirements. The challenge for us is to close that last 20% gap, to productize the products. So I think that the bigger challenge is finding the customers, closing the deals.
Okay, and by the end of last year, it's communicated that you would disclose new contracts and customer agreements that could not be disclosed due to NDAs. Could you give us details on those contracts?
No, unfortunately, we cannot. My apologies. We are not in the position to do that. We have NDAs. Short term, we were hoping to announce sales this year. We are not. We did not. We fell short on that objective. We're hoping to do that within the next 2 to 3 months, as Keith was saying and Carlos were saying. We have customers that are willing to buy from us. We're testing our product to make sure it meets those requirements. Our longer term customers, medical type of customers or major brands that we are working with, we have NDAs with, and we are not at liberty to share that with you guys yet.
Okay. And another one would be, what are the qualifications would you see as an ideal successor, in your opinion, Ramin, that you can pass over? When are you going to pass over the torch, and what are those qualifications that you're looking for the next CEO?
Excellent question. So we are going to start looking for a successor toward the end of Q2. Hopefully we'll have someone on board before end of the year. Someone that comes from an industry, someone who understands, who's got a balance of business development and technical background. Someone who's got a technical aptitude and has a strong business development, general management experience, preferably in Europe. So hopefully that answers the question. So I'm looking for, someone who comes from this industry, who understands the technology type of our technology, understands the customers, and has business development / general management experience. And we're going to have it as a running start. So we would have someone come on board, work with me for a couple of months, and then take over before end of the year. We're going to be very selective and very thoughtful on who we're going to pick. And that's the reason I took over as the interim CEO, because we think this is a critical role. We just didn't want to put someone else in charge. We wanted to make sure we're thoughtful and choiceful in getting our strategies in place, getting our stock price to where we think we should be. We've got some investments to make, some business deals to close in the next 6 months. Once we do that, we start getting someone. We'll have a much better view of what type of a profile we would love to get.
Okay. There is, let me see, there's so many questions. How do you see the dynamic price of the market evolving, and do you see applications in the automated checkouts, in automated checkout stores? Do you see your display integrated with printed sensors for freshness? I think that's for Keith there.
That's it. Let me answer that. Those are item level displays are hard to get to, because our price points are too high. For item level freshness indicators are hard to get. So there are a number of markets. Historically, we have looked at every single area where we thought we could bring value. But with Keith coming on board, now we are much more choiceful around picking areas where we think we can have the biggest impact and delivering those. And those are the areas that we shared with you. So if we haven't talked, at least in 2022, 2023, we are not going to chase every application that our display may be cool to do to get into it. We're looking at price, we're looking at time to market, and we're looking at our ability to integrate our product into the application. So sense freshness indicators, sensors for item level, it's interesting. If a customer comes to us and give us market, but it's not the one that we're chasing. I shared with you the markets that we're going to go after in 2022. And those were markets that we have clearly contemplated why we're doing this. Go ahead, Keith.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment why. It's not because we think that's a great market and there's huge value there. It's a long road, right? I can't tell you how long. Food and Drug Administration, right? These are high barrier of entry, regulatory areas that we can't, and also we wouldn't have control over the adoption. We need someone else in that industry to adopt it. So we have interest from players in this industry. We're just not putting all of our eggs in that basket. We're addressing it. We're supporting them. We're talking with them. But we know that could be 4 years. Maybe it's multi-million dollars, but that's at the end of a 4 or 5 year journey. And so we're addressing, like I said before, we're going after markets that have a quick time to market, because we know you and us both want to sell now.
Right. So it's around focus on target markets and deliver.
Mm-hmm.
So
Perfect. Another switching it, I think, back to Ramin here. Ynvisible has been very quiet in the past months after the sudden and very disappointing capital increase by Mr. Robinson. Many shareholders sold their shares. In retrospect, this was the right decision as the share price has not been able to recover since then. From your point of view, what speaks for a purchase or an investment in Ynvisible now? Oh, and maybe why what you're doing with that capital increase? Like, what are the 3 focuses with that money?
I shared it earlier. Invest in
Just
product
again.
development. Invest in product development. Buy and license technology that we don't have. Buy and license technology that we don't have. Hire product development engineers that can develop our product, the last 20% of the product. Historically, we have invested. Customers have come to us and they have paid us to develop products for them. We are going to develop our own products. So we are investing in product development, first and foremost. Product development means licensing, partnering, hiring R&D people. Invest in sales and marketing. Hire salespeople. Go to trade shows. Get distribution, right? And partner potentially we are looking at potential small acquisitions as well. So 3 areas for that money. 1, R&D. 2, product development, sales and marketing, technology acquisitions. Those are the 3 areas that we need to invest in. Back in March, we did not have the funds to invest in our own company. We were relying exclusively on customers. This gives us the ability to invest in our company. We talked about our RISE contract to acquire, licensed technologies, color that we were talking about for our future kind of development, color electrochromic. So that's the question. What did we do with that? Why did we get that money then? Because we needed money to invest in our product to commercialize and grow. Why investors would invest in us, like I did myself, is because I'm optimistic that now with the funding that we have, we can move the dial and bring products to the market, become a display company.
Wonderful. So another question would be, so is there enough significant cash for the growth and growing the company? And is Ynvisible going to go bankrupt?
One second. So this is a kind of a provocative question. We do have.
What are the risks of going bankrupt?
We have enough funding that takes us through 2024. We are very optimistic about our potential sales, as we just talked about. Even without any sales, even without enough sales, with our current cash rate, we've got enough funding to take us through to end of 2023. So we've got enough money to take us through 2023, right? What is the chances of going bankrupt? I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't buy Ynvisible stocks if I thought there was a chance of going bankrupt. The fact that I've got, we've got a fantastic team like Carlos and Keith and everyone else behind us. We've got a great product. We've got customers that are placing purchase order for us. So you can draw your own conclusion. We just told you there are customers that are placing purchase order with us today. We have a product that is looking to, you see the amount of market pull that we get. We sell 192 kits, prototype kits a year. Year over year, we sell 192 kits. That means customers are interested in electrochromic displays. Keith has talked to customers that are placed purchase order for us, that are buying, that are willing to buy product for us. So what are the chances of us going bankrupt? You draw your conclusion based on what I just told you.
Perfect.
Right.
And then are we doing another round of capital increase anytime soon?
Not anytime soon. Soon is a kind of a subjective time. No, not in the next 6 months, for sure not. Beyond that, we have, as I mentioned earlier, with our current cash burn rate, we have enough funding till end of 2023. If we come across a strategic acquisition that we can buy a company or buy a technology that we need more funding, we will assess it then with our board of directors and with, consultation with our investors. So not in the next 6 months.
Perfect. Love it. Well, this one's, I think, to me. In the past, Mrs. Patterson, who is responsible for investor relations at Ynvisible, has repeatedly talked about big news in 2022. What news can we shareholders expect? Will be big partnerships finally be presented in 2022?
We would like to under promise and over deliver. What was shared with the investors last year, we are working with major brand owners and potential partnerships. Whether we can communicate it in 2022, I won't promise it at this board, at this investor meetings, but we are looking. Keith and the team are under, it's in our objectives to do that. This is our objectives to do that, and that's our plan.
Perfect. Is research still being carried out with the cooperation of Evonik?
Carlos, do you want to comment to that, Evonik?
Yes, Evonik has developed a fantastic technology around printed batteries, and of course, batteries complementary to displays. And there is this connection in the two technologies coming together in a way that they enhance each other. So this potential still exists, and our dialogue with Evonik is also ongoing. But I think I cannot reveal too much at this moment regarding that.
Okay, perfect. And I think, what's another one for you, Carlos? Oh, Ynvisible has great patented technology, which is still valid until 2031 or 2031. As far as I know, in past presentations and also in pictures on Instagram, Ynvisible repeatedly shows great ideas for possible application of technology. However, on the homepage on the store, only display kits and further kits are being offered. But in my opinion, it's not suitable for the masses. Does Ynvisible plan to make money in the next few months? Oh, maybe that's for Keith. Sorry.
Well, the reason is because the nature of our product is, because it's highly customizable, it's almost all of our, actually all of our customer sales are custom. So it's really difficult to put anything other than proof of concept and demonstrators up on the website. Although we are planning on some standard products that are actually complete products, not just the raw display, such as a digital sign. We're planning on making a like an A4 size digital sign and a few other complete standard products, which I talked about as part of our strategy earlier. It increases our average selling price quite a bit.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, you recently participated in CES. What insights could Ynvisible take away from this, and what is the interest from customer and an investor point of view?
Yeah, I did mention CES. We had some really good customer interaction. We're working with those customers. They are in the target markets that we discussed. So without giving away names, we had a price tag interest, and it was a situation where the current technology was too expensive to do this type of price tag. I don't want to give away too much information. So we saw a lot of, hey, we are an alternative to existing technology with a better price point in the larger sizes. Right? We're not talking about competing with, say, typical classic LCD. but in e-paper, where you have the low power requirement, we are a price leader.
Okay. Thank you. The time is up. It's 10 p.m. 10 p.m. But the time is for the hours up for the webinar. Do you guys want to answer maybe one or two more questions?
Yeah, let's answer I wouldn't mind answering as many questions as, let's go, if it's okay with you, we can answer a few more questions.
Sure.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, because we still have attendees in. So let's keep on going.
How many more attendees do we have? We have 57. Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Have products already been sold to Google and Panasonic? And are there connections here? The companies are mentioned on the website. Are there joint research? Can you be a little bit more specific on those partnerships that we have on the website?
No, I cannot. So my apologies for that. These are confidential projects, so no.
That are with NDAs.
Right.
And this is a constraint of being a publicly traded company, that we cannot disclose sometimes things to an investor audience unless it is signed off by the customer. So, it's very hard, I think, disclosing it to, we are doing things behind the scenes, but we can't sometimes disclose it to the audience as the investors because of our clients who will not let us do that.
Yeah.
So I just wanted a little bit more insight for them.
Right.
And I think we've talked about the revenue targets for the next four, 2022, 2023, and 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Someone says the break even of 2025 seems a little bit unrealistic. How can we make such a big leap in revenue without achieving partnerships? Revenue be achieved without partnerships worth millions?
We are looking at millions of dollars of sales. So our target, as we have said, is, as Keith has put together, we think it's, if we focus, and if we deliver on systemic commercialization of our product in 2022, 2023, we think it's achievable, but we do have partnership activities that we're contemplating also. So our VP of Ventures and Business Development is looking at partnerships as well to complement our current product sales. But I myself am cautiously optimistic that with product sales, not only display, but display product sales, we can hit our break-even point in 2025. It's not something that I'm willing to promise today, but I'm cautiously optimistic based on our sales plans that we can achieve that. But we do have complementary partnership activities that we are running in parallel, and that goes back to the potential capital raise sometimes, in the future, if we need those kind of funding to purchase or develop partnerships.
What is the current status of sales, and when will new and high volume customer projects be released? I think we've answered that already. But do we have any sales?
Well, our
Any
sales
customers?
last year was 927,000 euro. Our target this year is a few $100,000 more than that. And we talked about it. When can we have the first sales? As soon as Carlos tests our products and tells Keith we can sell it, we'll announce it. So we are looking at months before we can kind of do this. And maybe, Keith, do you want to kind of talk about how you see our potential this year, high level, not numbers?
Sure. I made a quick comment also beforehand about Ynvisible. I didn't answer an ad for a job. Ynvisible didn't come looking for me. When I saw Ynvisible's technology, I went after Ynvisible. I said, I want to be involved in this. I've been in this business for 25 years. And I said, this is a new groundbreaking technology that I see a great value for. I just want to put that out there to start with. But as far as customers, I'm getting an NRE PO this week for a high value customer. Again, I can't say what. And that's, I know it sounds like, oh, everything is NDA. Because our product is almost 100% custom, we're under NDA with every customer. If we were selling, 10.4-inch rectangular displays, we could say, oh, we got 5 orders because they're buying our off-the-shelf product. But because all the customers are sharing with us their trade secrets, because we need to know, we're developing a display that's specifically for their product. That's what puts us under NDA. So every customer almost were under NDA. When we have our standard products, we'll be able to talk about, oh, we booked this much this month, we're shipping this, on our standard products. So we have customers, I have people that are pursuing us now that want to use our products. Some markets we don't know if we can address yet. So if Carlos comes back and says, hey, our display can work at -30 to +80, for example, that will open up other markets for us. But those are not markets that we've already targeted. That would say open up automotive to us, right? Which is a whole nother market. So we reserved other large markets that we're aware of because we are waiting for the results of testing of the really hard testing that we need to do, and environmental verification, because customers, especially tier 1 customers, want this type of information. So we're putting together
actually
actively.
that's another thing that the reason the board asked me to lead as a CEO is because of my background in product development. We need to have a product to sell. We have a lot of really powerful prototypes that demonstrate the potential of our products, but we don't have a product. So when Keith came on board, he was telling me, so what's the product spec sheet? What product is it that I'm selling? I say, well, so can it work on their third, so we need to productize our product. So one of the reasons I took on the job as a CEO is to partner with Carlos and Keith to get a product optimized, validated, scaled up, and shipped to customers, closed deals. And that kind of demonstrates us it's our transformation from a startup to product company this year. And then I can, to the gentleman that asked the question earlier, then I can pass a baton to a CEO, say, here, you have it. Now we're selling products. Now we have a sales team. Now we have a product development team. So that's the reason I'm partnering with Keith and Carlos the next 6 months to get it to a point where we have a business, where we have a product business.
Perfect. So I think you've kind of really talked about this other question. What has the sales team achieved so far? And are there new contracts or partnerships? And I think with the new sales team, you're really aligned, and you've talked about that, Keith, about what your goal is and how you're going to get there by using the distribution networks with your team. But maybe you can go a little bit more, touch on it again. You're on mute.
Oh, sorry, I apologize. I was looking at another question. What was that again?
I think we've kind of go over this, but just I think because people are so curious about the sales and you coming in, I think they want to know exactly like what is kind of your vision, and how are you going to go and distribute and go with the sales. I know you were talking about the distribution. I know we have a network in Asia and in Europe, and North America, but maybe you can go a little bit more.
Well, we're getting more inquiries already, for starters. But so in the past, we let whoever rang our doorbell dictate what we did, right? And you do that. This is a normal path for a new technology company. You say yes to everybody, but not everybody is really the right partner for us. Now we are being selective. We see that where our product has value, and so that we're going to all those customers. Maybe it sounds repetitive, I apologize, but if you look at the leader in e-paper, if you look at the website, they're focused on digital signage and retail. So we are also focused on digital signage and retail, right? And we're going full bore. So making our own products. And so we're still getting inquiries in other markets that are not our target market. So we're not ignoring those markets, but we're just not going to put our product development money and efforts into markets that we don't see that we have a high value, which means we have a high probability of winning business there. right? We don't want to go into market where we're going to win 1 out of 20 customers that we work on, because we do a lot of work for very little return. We want to hit, 1/3, let's say, of the customers that we talk to turns into business. So if you look at sales progression from, pre-opportunity to then having a request for a quotation, doing a proof of concept, then doing a pilot run and mass production. We're looking at moving the ball down the field. We're not looking at just projects for the sake of projects, which, at the end, remember, we didn't say no to anything. So we could get tied up in a project that could be for a very good company, but may have no commercialization at the end of it. So we're only now, pretty much, I'm only engaging with customers that have run rate business, work for manufacturing. So the NREPO that I'm getting this week is for manufacturing. It's a few $100,000 a year, and it's for run rate, ongoing, continuous business. And this is what is necessary for Ynvisible to really be successful. We, instead of having a big hit in one place and another place, we building a base of business that's repeat business, which I think is absolutely key for us. And I think we can. By the way, we have a good product. We're meeting the needs, and we're actually opening up markets where our competitors were too expensive. I'll give you an example. For our main competitor, they make a 32-inch digital sign display, not the sign, they make the display. It's around $1,000. Now they can do pixels and resolution and fancy pictures, but if the customer's goal is to just display information like the bus is going to be 10 minutes late, or here's the next 4 buses, or here's a train, or here's when the movie starts, you're just displaying information, we would make that product and sell for around $200. So we're at 1/5 of the market price, and we have a viable product, right? So this is where we've identified our value. We can put displays where they weren't before. We're battery powered. We can run the display for years on a single battery. So this is a market. This is where we're focusing all of our efforts. So you're going to see more and more from us on this, of engaging with customers and shipping product.
Keith, could you kind of elaborate on our distribution networks? How you feel, how you're going to use the distribution networks and our own salespeople? Because we are going to a hybrid model that in North America, Europe, and China, we have distribution companies that are selling our products, but we are also hiring our own salespeople to sell the products. Could you elaborate on that?
Sure. And by the way, this is the typical model for every other display company, right? So we have the distributors, they have their own customer networks. So, we're getting our product in front of customers without having to knock on the front door and cold call them. They have their customer networks. At the same time, we're generating interest and demand creation with our own marketing efforts and our own salespeople. So our sales managers will probably, for customers, they will mostly only address tier 1 customers and manage the distributor. The distributor will handle tier 2, tier 3, and tier 1 customers. They have a lot more reach. So we can get, when we sign a distributor, we might get 20 or 30 salespeople, right, that sell our product. It's not the only product they sell, but they sell our product and get in front of a lot of customers, where we can only address a certain number of customers with our own salespeople. That's why they're really a territory sales manager, right? They're making sure the distributor's questions get answered, making sure the RFQs are pushed through. And so we're generating a funnel of requests for quotations, which eventually turn into sales, where previously every engagement was one customer at a time, one by one, whoever knocks on our door. Now we're knocking on doors, and we have people knocking on doors for us as well, and they're partnering in the technology. So they see the value of the technology. There's a lot of LCD companies. There's a lot of TFT companies. If you're a TFT company, there's 15 competitors, including China. We have a unique technology, European, that's produced in Europe, and by the way, doesn't have supply chain issues. To tell you, for the rest of the LCD business, is having a bear of a time right now. There's no integrated circuits on our products, so we can deliver products right now in very short lead times, shorter than any other market segment from a lead time perspective and a supply chain perspective.
Thank you for that, Keith. Let's take 2 more questions, and then
Perfect. Well, I have a question, I think, for Carlos. Again, can you elaborate on the partnership with RISE and who is RISE again?
Sure. RISE is the Research Institute of Sweden. It's a globally recognized player in printed electronics and other groups and other areas as well. So it's a major institute. It's comparable to Fraunhofer in Germany, for example, or VTT in Finland. And they have a group based in a town called Norrköping that has been dedicated to develop printed electrochromics, mass manufacturable printed electrochromics. And that's what we have demonstrated in our roll-to-roll facilities, that it can be produced in mass quantities, in mass volumes. Our collaboration with RISE has been developed since the last year, and we are strengthening this year with a major commitment in terms of partnership, technology partnership, but also R&D partnership. And that's crucial to support our product development. So we count with RISE team, which has a track record developing printed electronic materials and components and systems. And we are taking the lead to productize that. So it's I would say it's a win-to-win situation for both parties.
Perfect. And I think I just one more question. What has been the latest technology innovation breakthrough at Ynvisible with the products that you've seen?
I think I already mentioned what highlights. We have recently, in end of last year, we achieved a major breakthrough in our most actual display technology. We have increased and enhanced the performance at low temperatures. So as you saw from Ramin's slides, we are looking to data loggers. We are looking to cold chain applications. We are also looking to potentially go outdoors. So we need to be able to also operate in low temperature conditions. And we know that all the other display technologies have major issues to work at low temperatures. And that's where we can excel. And we have just improved that performance with the new generation that we are at this moment validating to be ready to customers. In addition to that, in development, also crucial to tell, we have also increased the cyclability, the number of switches that the display can work. And we have proven over 1.5 million cycles, which is more than enough for all the market segments that we have been talking through up to now. So I would say these are the two most relevant major breakthroughs that support business this year. In the background, as we already talked, we are working on colors. We are working on also, we have a major contract with one of the big companies in the medical field, and we are working to develop a custom display that doesn't exist in the world. Nobody else has a solution. And we are working right now with this customer to make it reliable under certain conditions, which I cannot now disclaim to you. But besides that, we have at the low profile, we have ongoing developments. But I think that what the investors are interested in is productization. And as I said, this is still our main focus. But innovation, it's something we have in our DNA. So don't worry. The pipeline is full and we can make it. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, I don't see any more questions. So I just want to say thank you very much for having you guys come in and talk to our shareholders today. And I want to thank the shareholders for attending this webinar. And please, if you have any questions or comments, please reach out and contact me at ir@ynvisible.com. And we will be having this webinar live, not live, but afterwards on our social media channels and on YouTube, so you can watch it afterwards. And I think we might actually cut some of the questions so we can have them short answers so you can see them in video afterwards. But thank you very much. And Ramin, do you want to have any closing statements?
Yes, we appreciate your trust in Ynvisible. We hope you stay with us. You are the most important part of our company. So we are counting on you to keep your trust in us. We appreciate you listening to us today, and we will do this more often. And I look forward to working for you. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.